Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel. I'm your host of Donna's Edge television talk show where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning 1 p.m. on the Central Time Zone as we get to ride home with you in the afternoon. You can find us on television. We are syndicated on Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com. You know, we put your show on that too. So you're on the Newscasters. You know Murray Edwards. And
well,
so,
if you get any more affiliates, what's going to have to happen is you're going to have to get a whole new station just dedicated to you.
Nah, we can do it this way.
That's great.
This way I can have all the guests I want and
That's
the ones
great.
I want too. And that's why I love having John Merrill on my show with me. First of all, highly decorated Alabama Secretary of State. Folks loved you as Alabama Secretary of State because you helped make so many changes, making the elections fair. And I know we talk about this a lot, but it's so important
Well, you know,
because we've got an election coming up.
it's funny that you mentioned that. This morning I got a call from the New York Times that wanted to do an interview about one of the things that's been introduced about elections and what needs to happen with elections and election administration, and an executive order that the president has issued about not having mail-in ballots. And so I was explaining to the reporter how important it is to understand that all eligible voters are not able to go to their polling place on election day and participate. So you need to have an alternative for them to be able to participate so they can still have their voice heard by having their vote counted. And I talked to him about how that actually works and what it would mean if that was eliminated as an option. Not even to mention some of the costs that are involved when you have people that are voting universally by mail as opposed to doing it with a in-person participation pattern.
Well, I wanted to bring that up because we moved to South Carolina a few months ago, but before we moved, we were living in Alabama. And so we were in the transition of moving, but I still wanted to vote and wasn't sure we were even going to be in town. So we did a mail-in vote. And I'm just telling you, it's not that difficult. Now, do I like getting out there, seeing all my friends on election day? That's one of the reasons I vote too, because I get to catch up on the gossip. But it's not gossip, but it's just fun to get out there and vote. But if you can't, do the mail-in. Now, what's the process? Because I know you helped make that a lot
that's
smoother.
the thing. Yeah, and we also made it a lot more secure because one of the things that we required is that as a registered voter, when you apply for the absentee application, you have to present a copy of your ID, just like you do if you vote in person. And that had not been required before. I think it's important because people need to follow the same path that they would if they were voting in person on election day. So the routine is necessary, but also the safety and security measures need to be in place in order to ensure the integrity of the overall process.
And I'm so glad that you did that. And I wanted to mention this. I worked the polls one time. So my grandmother did it my entire life in Geraldine, Alabama. So I thought, I want to follow my grandmother's footsteps. So I tried it one time. And it was a busy, you had to go to class and all these different things. So the one thing they did say in class is that you had to see the proof that they were who they said they were. And so I had this guy come in, he was a Democrat, and he knew me and knew I was a Republican. I always vote conservative. And so he said, everybody here knows who I am. Well, I didn't because I'd been living in Charlotte, North Carolina for a long time. I didn't know who he was. So he comes in, and I'm right there at the front taking the names, looking at the ID. And I said, I'm sorry, I don't know who you are. And he said, well, everybody else here does. And I said, but we were told in class I had to see ID. And first of all, he was pressuring me, so that made me want to pressure back. So you know how that goes. And he said, well, it's out in the car. And I said, well, go get it. I just don't know who you are. And then I said, I got to ask you a question. Do you work for the government and you're just seeing if I'm doing my job correctly? Is that what you're doing? So that's how I got it.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, no. And I said, well, go ahead and get it because I don't want to get in trouble with anybody. So anyway.
Well, and there is a provision in the law that allows for people that don't have the ID with them, that can't access the ID, to be able to still vote as long as two election workers will swear on a sworn statement that they know this person. And so they have to sign an affidavit in person on election day so they can do that. You know, he said everybody knows me that's here besides you. Well, if two of those people would sign a sworn statement that I know him, that I do know where he lives, I have a relationship with him, then at that point, then he would be confirmed as an eligible voter.
But I was lucky. We were in Geraldine, Alabama, and everybody was gone to lunch. And there was only me and one guy. So that's how I got out of it. But I just had to do it.
Sure.
Well, he and I, even though he's a liberal, he and I turned into friends. So he walks, he gives me the ID, he votes, he comes back and he looks at me and he says, "You're a conservative, aren't you?" And I said, "You're a liberal, aren't you?" He said, "Yeah." And I said, "But I bet you really work for the government, don't you? You're just trying to see if I'm going to ask for the ID." And then he goes, "I like you anyway." And then he walked out the door. So everybody needs to vote. And even if you don't have ID, I'm so glad you brought that
Yes.
up, because even if you don't have it with you, you can still vote.
That's right.
And a lot of
But
folks,
you have to follow the law. There are procedures and guidelines that require you to follow the law in order for your vote to be counted legally.
and it has to be. It has to be that way. But you got to vote. So a lot of folks don't vote midterm. I mean, they just don't. They only go to the presidential
That's right.
election. But now every vote, we've got some mayor's races coming up right now. City council, those are important. Right here in the state of Alabama.
Very important. And one of the things that Bobby asked me this morning when we walked in was, will the whole state be voting next week? And I said, no. We have 466 municipalities in the state, and most of them started with that 5-year term, which means that those council members and those mayors went from 2020 to 2025. But they changed the process, so this would be done in an off year instead of a presidential cycle, because the presidential cycle, you had the primary votes in March, and then you had the municipal votes in August, and then you had the presidential general in November. Now, if you had a runoff, then you'd have that in April. And so moving that the way that they did really caused people to suffer from election fatigue, because they were voting all the time during the presidential cycle. So now it has changed that process, and this will be done in the off year.
And that's absolutely the way it has to be. But get out there and vote, okay? You're hearing it from me and John Merrill. You got to get out there and vote. Some wonderful things are happening right here in Gadsden.
No doubt.
Every time I come to Alabama, we'll come to Gadsden, and Twin City Used Car Sales, Bobby Ledbetter, Twin City Used Cars. You got to check him out. But every time I come,
Well, they just sold
I'm
another
seeing-
one this morning, and so
they're selling them all the time.
That's
I've
right.
been here all morning, and people just running in and out. So come down here and get yourself a good deal, okay? Phil bought a truck, a few months ago. It's turned into my truck.
That's
I really
great.
do like the
That's
truck.
great.
It's pretty cool. I didn't think I'd like the truck, but anyway, you'll love what they have. And kids are going to be going to school. They need a good, reliable car to drive, so make sure you check them out on that as well. But let's talk about Gadsden. Man, so roads are being improved. All kinds of things are
They
happening.
are. They've got some folks going into the old Goodyear location
I wanted to ask you
in
about
a
that.
new investment that's coming into Etowah County. Mayor Ford's doing a tremendous job in the city of Gadsden. Mayor Joe Taylor is doing a great job in Rainbow City. He's looked at as one of the key leaders in East Central Alabama, just doing a great job continuing to lead his council. All of the people on his council ran unopposed except for Coach Randy Weiss, who is one of the most outstanding men that I've known in public service. And his election will be next week. He has one opponent. In Rainbow City, Mayor Dana Snyder is doing a tremendous job of leading their community. It's a bedroom community for Etowah County. Not a whole lot of industry there, some business, but not a whole lot of industry. Those people live there, but then they go work throughout Etowah and in Calhoun and St. Clair and other parts of this part of East Alabama. But each and every person that's in a leadership position in the municipalities throughout Etowah County has something to brag on and brag about, no matter where they are. Mayor Larry Means in Atala, down in...
And what an improvement of the city of Alabama.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow, it's it looks like a Christmas card. Just look at the old town part.
That's right. So it's an exciting time to be a part of Etowah County and all the things that are going on here.
Anything you can tell us about the Goodyear plant?
Well, I know that
We'll still call it that. I don't care if somebody has that for 1,000 years.
Exactly, because that's what we've known it to be forever. And I don't know exactly what they're going to be doing. I understand it has something to do with solar power, solar panels, and things of that nature. I think it's less than 100 employees, but it's a very technical operation. So I think these people are very well paid. So it's a great opportunity for Etowah County to continue to become a central focal point of business and industry in East Central Alabama.
Oh yeah, Etowah County is turning into really the lighthouse of the area, the way they're improving. So is Anniston and Oxford area as well. So you guys got it going on, but I think tourism brings a lot of folks in.
Sure they do.
You've got the water out here. You got
That's right, Nakalula Falls, and then the river, of course. And they had a big 4th of July celebration here that I came to and was a part of my 4th of July event day where we went to 5 different events across the state. But I think it's very important to continue to promote local business and industry and local events and activities so you can keep your money locally, because these people are the ones that you go to when you need them to buy an ad in the yearbook. These are the people that you go to when you need them to buy a sign that's going to be on the baseball field. These are the people that you go to when you try to buy advertising on the football field scoreboard. All of those things are so important to the success of the schools and the community as a whole. So we need to support the local business so they'll be prepared to support us.
Well, I'll have to tell you what, Gadsden is not jealous of other towns, and that's great. They're actually a workforce helping other towns. You know, we mentioned this before on the air. Sardis City was hit by a tornado, and they didn't have the means to clean up. And so your mayor here in Gadsden and all the other mayors around got together and supplied them with equipment to be able to remove trees that had fallen over and all those wonderful things. I think that's probably another thing, because these folks want to work not just in their city but cities around them as well. That's what you're looking for. Let's talk to some towns that maybe they're just small towns and they don't know what to do. They want to grow, maybe not as big as Gadsden, but they just like to grow. What do they need to do?
Well, they have to be prepared for the growth. They have to be prepared for economic and industrial investment. They have to be prepared with infrastructure, water, sewer, electricity, gas, roads, bridges. All of those things have to be in place before you can get somebody to look at your site. And then you've got the site prep work on that location where you'd like to be. You also have got to have quality of life issues that are being met for those families. So good educational system, a good arts program in the community, which includes art and music and museums and theaters and things like that that people want to be a part of. But each community is different in what they can offer, and I think having community festivals that promote what's going on in your local community is very important, and we see that all across the state, whether it's the Chitlin Festival in Arley, whether it's the Tomato Festival in Slocum, whether it's the Peanut Butter Festival in Brundage. Wherever it is, no matter how big or small your community is, there's something that you can promote that is unique to your particular area and your particular
Everybody
environment.
has their specialty, right?
That's right. And we want you to do that, but you've got to identify what that is for you so you'll be able to be effective in promoting it across the state and the region of the country.
I know I'm very proud because of all the work you did as Alabama Secretary of State, but now also the company you work for, Wagner Engineering, they're making some strides as well.
They are, and we have done a great job in working with our friends in Etowah County and helping them be prepared for growth and development, especially in the area of water and sewer and roads and bridges, because that's the area that we excel at. Of course, we're also doing great work down in Cleveland County, and we've got a couple of bridges under construction down there, as well as the work that we're doing in Heflin, where a park is being designed that is a 53-acre site that's just off of Highway 9. It's about halfway between the interstate and town. So there'll be a number of new baseball fields, softball fields, pickleball courts, tennis courts, where people can go and spend the day with their family and have a grand experience that they can't get anywhere else within that short distance without going to another county. So this is an exciting time to be a part of the Wagner family. So we're helping promote economic development, economic recruitment, and quality of life advancement.
And Heflin is a beautiful area too.
Yes,
so
it
it's
is.
just all over Alabama. We have to go into a commercial break. I can't believe this. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. Everybody hang in there, okay?
Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of My Pillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all My Pillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, or our 6-piece towel sets just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free.
The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462.
Good afternoon, we're back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television talk show, Where Truth Matters. That's why we have John Merrill with us. And so glad to know you're busy, and all kinds of great things happening with the company, with Wagner Engineering, and just all kinds of great things. Family life, everything's going really well, and just wanted to talk to you again.
Well, you're so kind to do so. Cindy just actually returned from Europe. She was over there for a couple of weeks with our daughter and our son at a wedding with a family friend, and had a tremendous time there. But one of the things that they see when they visit internationally like that is just how fortunate we are here in the United States, and all the benefits that we have and all the things that we're able to do that separate us from other communities throughout the world. And to see all the things that we're able to experience here, especially in Etowah County and Gadsden proper, really means a great deal to us as we talk to people about the special things that we're able to experience.
I wanted to mention one other thing, and that's about the education we have here in Alabama, especially the tech schools. So Phil and I were having some work done, and so there happens to be a mobile home, which is on our land also, where we're fixing that up for somebody to rent out or maybe make a store out of it, do something with it. So we had this electrician come by. It was two younger guys. Now, if you're under 50, you're a younger guy to me, okay? So these two younger guys came by, and I said, congratulations. And one of them looked at me and said, for what? And I said, your chosen field. I said, you are very smart. I said, how did you get to this point? He said, well, I went to tech school. He said, when he graduated from high school, dual enrollment. So what he did, he actually got his high school diploma and a partial degree as well from college. And he said, even though he has certain family members who are begging him to go on ahead and go get a degree, he said, I got it going on real good right now. And he said, I'm just real pleased. My favorite girlfriend is with me right now. She's taking pictures. It's got to be a decent one of me. Now, he's photogenic. But anyway, getting back to this guy, he still gets a smart way. So he goes to tech school. And I said, you do realize you're working for a company. Why don't you talk with the company? Because, companies want well-educated employees. I said, just free advice out here. I said, just talk to them and ask them if they would reimburse your college if you went back. And he said, you think they might? And I said, what can I say? No?
Absolutely. That happens all the time, as we know.
Oh, my goodness. So anyway, you guys are really smart. You're getting these hands-on jobs. And he said, you know something? He said, I got a new truck. He said, I put down a big house payment, and he's single. And he said, I put down this big payment for a house. And he said, all my college friends are still in debt. And when we go out to eat, they expect me to pay for their food. So you need to eye these jobs, okay, where you're working with welding, plumbing, electrical, all of those things. You need to be looking at it. And there's a wonderful college right here, Gadsden State.
Gadsden State, they're doing tremendous work in preparing students to enter the workforce in fields just like you just introduced, but also preparing those that want to go on to a four-year institution of higher learning, whether it be Jacksonville State University, Sneed State, if it be the University of Alabama, Auburn University, University of Alabama, Birmingham. There's a lot of different opportunities here, and so we want to make sure that they're prepared to take advantage of those.
There's a really good college called Auburn University. We were at church Sunday. We were living in Abbeville, South Carolina, and there was a Georgia fan there. I knew it because he actually had a Georgia shirt on in church. And so he comes around and he says, you're near the area, aren't you? And I said, yeah. And I said, so you're a Georgia fan, right? And he said, yeah. And I said, I'm an Auburn fan, and my husband is an Alabama fan. And he went, oh, no. I said, don't run off. But there are so many good colleges, and I'll have to tell you about Auburn because I took some classes there. Their agriculture classes are top rate. And I checked out the veterinarian program. My best friend, Robin, is a veterinarian now. And so that's where she took her classes. So folks from all over the world are coming to Auburn University.
Absolutely. Auburn has one of the finest veterinary programs in the United States, and we're very fortunate to have such an outstanding institution of higher learning in the state of Alabama. And I know that a lot of our people know and understand what Auburn means to the economy, what it means to the educational and instructional opportunities for students in our state, but also for others that are from the South and from other parts of the nation that come here to advance their higher learning options.
Even people from Georgia come. So that's another thing. But I also wanted to mention tech schools again. So the tech school in Abbeville, South Carolina, I don't know if they're offering it here or not, are actually offering beginning classes if you would like to be a veterinarian. So you can take some of those classes in tech school while you're still going to high school and possibly be a veterinarian later on in life.
So many options. But taking that first step is what makes it all start rolling.
You know, something that's real fun, though, is to go to a high school election and you see a kid. You can always tell the parents of the kid who just walked off dual enrollment. You know, they get a partial college degree as well. Those parents, and you can practically see dollar signs in their eyes.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, it's
so
just a great
beneficial
thing
for their
for
families
everybody.
that they don't have to pay that full tuition for that 8 semesters or more, that their students will be able to take advantage of the time they've invested in high school in the dual enrollment program.
Absolutely, and you know, and truck drivers are out there all over the place. I know one of the instructors at Northeast Alabama Community College, and he is actually a truck driver who retired from being a truck driver. Now he's an instructor. What better instructor could you have than that guy?
That's exactly right, and that's a great community
Mr.
college
Peak is his name.
in DeKalb County in Rainsville, Alabama, where you're talking about. We have those community college locations spread out all over Alabama. Very, very fortunate to have outstanding instructors who are committed to providing these unique learning opportunities for all their students.
Snead State Junior College is right up the road here from Gadsden as well. We have about 2 minutes left in this segment. What would you like to tell? Can you believe how time just flies
Well,
by?
we are always excited to come and talk about the great things that are going on with Wagner Engineering and how we're able to help transform communities, but also to talk about other things that are important to you. So whenever you know that I'm going to be on the show, and Donna always promotes those things, please reach out to her and share your questions so she can introduce them to us, and then we can talk about those and make sure that your questions are answered to your satisfaction. And also, if you ever want to reach me directly, you're welcome to do so at 334-328-2787. I'd love to hear from you, and we'd love to find a way to be able to help you and to answer the questions that are important to you about the topics we discussed today and others that may be out there for you.
Absolutely. John, thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you, Donna.
And thank you for watching. Continue sending emails, Donna at donnasedge.com. Take care.
Donna's Designs offers a line of handmade memorial, wedding, and keepsake jewelry that launched back in 1970. I'm a self-trained jewelry designer, and I will work closely with you to create unique designs you can love and treasure for years to come. Whether that be flowers that were used in a funeral arrangement or stones you found on the beach at a memorable trip, call me at 256-659-4319, and let's think of the possibilities.
Because of your overwhelming support, our 1488 MyPillow has been one of the biggest sales in MyPillow history. I couldn't think of a better way to say thank you than to extend our wholesale pricing through Christmas. Get a classic standard MyPillow for only $14.88. Upgrade to a queen size, just $18.88. King size, only $1 more. Get my body pillows for only $29.88. And ready? Multi-use MyPillows, only $9.88. It's perfect time to stock up for Christmas gifts for everyone on your list. Go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our wholesale pricing, including my classic standard MyPillows, only $14.88. But that's not all. I'm so confident you're going to love our classic MyPillows that I'm going to extend my 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025. Plus, orders over $75 ship absolutely free.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel. I'm your host of Donna's Edge television talk show where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning 1 p.m. on the Central Time Zone as we get to ride home with you in the afternoon. It's always a fun ride. I definitely appreciate you watching. Absolutely. Continue sending emails. It makes my day. Donna at donnasedge.com. Donna at donnasedge.com. Now, LaRue can tell you sometimes it takes me days to find them, because they get in that little spam folder, and you got and I get so much spam. No, everything goes in spam for some reason. So, and then you have to look through all the spam folders, to make sure, because it's like sometimes I think, why even have a spam folder? You got to look through everything anyway. But I appreciate you sending. Just keep sending emails. I definitely appreciate that. You can find us on television. We are syndicated on Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com. It's always so much fun bringing wonderful guests like LaRue Hardinger with you. She's with the Marine Toys for Tots. And we've been friends a very, very long time.
Yes.
And so...
I feel like I knew you in a previous life.
Well, yeah, but you but I think what did it though is, as I thought, we've got something to come, and I can't figure out what this, because people who have been in the media, I mean, that's just the way it is. You can seek them out. I mean, you can give me 1,000 people. I can tell you people who've been in the media before. I don't know what it is.
Who have a calling for it.
Well, I figure, because I grew up when Mary Tyler Moore was on television, and I used to think, I'm going to be just like her. I'm going to be in somehow the media somewhere. I don't know how to do it. Were you that way too? Because we're at the same age.
I didn't watch that show, but I was into journalism all the way back till in high school. I was in journalism classes. I was their editor of their newsletter. And I was actually the go-between between the Fort Payne printing shop back in the day when they actually put the letters. I'm aging myself.
I thought that was hard to do. That was time-consuming, wasn't it?
They just had the machine sitting there. But yes, they did have to typeset it and print. We printed them, and then I would take them. It was on First Street in Fort Payne, and I would take them back to I was the liaison, but I was also the editor of their creative writing magazine too. And so it started in high school, even though I really wanted to be a ballerina.
I can see that too. You're graceful.
I knew that was out of the question because dancing was a sin.
Oh yeah, I grew up in that household too.
We won't go any deeper into that topic. But anyways, I don't think there were any ballet schools in Fort Payne.
Yeah, I was going to say, where are they?
Yeah. But I got to use that talent in my many years of teaching fitness, which turned into dance classes too. You heard of Roomba? I forgot what they call that. I never did teach that, but I did teach steps that were Hispanic type music that went along with it. So I did not use the copyrighted, classes. But I made up my own. I would watch theirs, and then I would make up my own routines. So I would teach anything from graceful yoga type moves, which we didn't chant or anything like that. But there is great benefit in every yoga position.
Oh, it's stretching. It's stretching exercise.
It does so many things for your body, and it strengthens, gives you balance. I could talk 30 minutes about that. But I also taught senior fitness, and this was 25 years ago, and with chairs, and they could do a lot sitting or standing, sitting in the chair with bands or with ankle weights or wrist weights.
You'll laugh at this. You just mentioned bands. Okay, so
Yeah.
I was at this $5 store, and I was on quarter day, and they had these bands, look like great big huge rubber bands.
I know what you're going to
And
say.
then I looked at it. I did got the Google app, and I took a picture of it, and it said they were exercise bands because in that store sometimes you don't know what you're buying. I mean, you just have to seek it out. So I thought, I'll try. And you know me, I overdo everything. So according to some of the things I saw the research on the internet, should have just called you. So they said only start out with 10 or something. It was a ridiculous low number, and I'm thinking 10. So I did 50. Boy, was I sore the next couple of days.
It works. It works.
That works.
But the other movements that the seniors could do was stand behind the chair, hold on to the back, it's straight back chairs, and sturdy chairs, of course, and do a lot of the yoga type moves, or maybe leg raises or whatever, lunges, by holding onto the chair without fear of falling.
Yeah.
So I loved doing that too. Of course, I started out doing just floor, and that turned into all kind of different dance moves. I played rock music, and we adopted some of the boy band moves at the time.
Yeah, I remember those.
And then my favorite, when they first came out with the Reebok step, I got addicted to that. And I made up so many routines, and you know what? I was doing cleaning out of my bookshelves the other day in my desk. And I came across, I'm so glad I still have it all, every cassette tape of every class I ever taught. And I have a VHS tape that my sister took of me teaching a class, and it's the only recording of it that I know of. And I also found my notebook that I had written down every routine I had ever made up in my head. And now I get to do them by myself at my house.
Well, if we were closer by, maybe we could do it via Zoom.
The reason
There was Zoom.
I had people come up to me and say, "Where do I? Hey, LaRue," and my mind goes bananas because I'm thinking, oh, where do I know this person from? Is it from aerobics? Is it from news? And did I interview them for the news? Did they know me from
Pianist at church. You did that too.
I played for 40 years in churches as a musician, bass guitar, organ, piano, whatever. And I was up front for all those years. And yeah, there was, but I would just say, let them talk. And they would usually say, are you still teaching? Or something.
So you're
like
known for that.
and they're asking me, go back to teaching. You were my best teacher.
Well, see, you're still in great shape, so you could. I mean, people, they look at their teacher. If the teacher looks like she's
I
fit.
could, but I couldn't do Toys for Tots. And because Toys for Tots is my life. It takes up my life. And I try to work in my, you know how it is, grown children and grandchildren. If, for one example, I have a grandson in the JSU Marching Southerners, and you don't want to miss an opportunity. That's once that's gone, that's gone. If you miss it, so
It's very fleeting.
that band is very well known, and that there's a reason. If you ever get a chance to go
They
hear
go
them,
to Macy's Thanksgiving
yes,
Day
if
parades.
you ever get to go see them, they're so huge. They're over 500 strong. They take up the whole football field. But the thing is, their precision is just unreal. Even to the flags, to the rifles, the ballerinas. They have it all three squads, in addition to the band. It's crazy. You don't know where to look. There's so much going on. and I absolutely love it. But once you get grown kids and grandkids, which hopefully you will, if not, you're closer now to your.
Closer than I was.
She's moved out of our zip code, but she still comes back often, thank goodness. And back to what we kind of bonded over was the fact that we realized we were both and had been in the media since we were very young. And so not only did I go straight from high school, there was a few years I had my babies, like 3 babies in 5 years. But after that, once I went full-time into another job, that was in journalism at the Gadsden Times, and worked there for years, and then I worked at the Times Journal for years, and even though she's broadcast, there's still
still that, because you're opening people up. You're talking about what they do, and
you have to read people well.
Because you don't know, and especially somebody who suffered trauma of some sort. I talked to somebody who'd been raped one time on the show, and I didn't want her to cry. I didn't want to upset her. I didn't want to do anything. And I even asked her before the show started. I said, "Are you sure you want to do this?"
Right.
Because I'm going to have to ask you a few questions. And
or you cry.
yeah, I didn't want to do it. But what I did, I took care of that. I said, "This is what I want you to do. I want you to write down a list of questions you feel comfortable with me
good
asking."
idea.
So because I couldn't quite read her, and she was really nervous about actually being on the show and all those things anyway. So she wrote down a few questions, and we got through it.
And you interview people from all walks of life, just like I do, except we had deadlines to meet every day. When I first started, we had from 8 until 4, because we started doing our layout at 4. We had to have in 2 major stories and 6 what they call briefs, which were brief stories that could be weren't necessarily front page news. And then things would break an hour before your deadline.
Life happens, right?
And then you have to dash out the door and cover a shooting that happened. And this actually happened when I was on 4th Street here in Gadsden. We're not too far away. 1 or 2 blocks away at a gas station, there was a shooting, and 2 people were killed. And my photographer, I grabbed him, and we ran out the door. And we did get an award for what they call spot news coverage. That means you're on the spot, But then they have to change last minute the layout of everything, And yes, they do. Hold the press. Hold the presses. That's where that saying comes from.
Well, I wanted to, because she's like really, really good at reading people. I mean, you're phenomenal at it.
Thank you.
But you do it in taste, is what I'm trying to say. Because I say people out there, they're doing interviews, and you're like, "What school did you go to?" Because they'll just go and they'll just do it, and they don't care if it's
They don't let
somebody's.
their person
They don't let them
answer the question before that they're asking another.
And they're not feeling for the person they're talking with. It could be somebody whose son just got killed or something, and they'll just ask questions, and I'm like, "Why did you ask that question?"
Or they don't have, I don't know.
There's no empathy. There's no.
News intuition is something that's born in you. It's not something you can just, hey, I'm going to be a reporter. Yeah. And those people do work, and we see them nowadays on our phones and on TV and on YouTube every day. But then you see things like they're standing there saying, the riding is relatively peaceful, and there's an explosion.
Like, really? Okay, here's one that really tickles me. This one kills me. Okay, now this story broke, of course, in Talladega, at the Talladega Speedway. You remember this one? Okay, so this girl, this happened just when Joe Biden was running for president, and so the people are saying, you know what, Biden, F Biden, and I know how you are, and I know how I am. So and I thought about you when this happened. So what happened was, a producer somewhere told her to say, no, they're saying go Brandon,
Yeah.
instead of the other thing, and I'm sitting there thinking, if my old boss had told me to say that instead of what was really happening, I would have taken the microphone off and I would have said, "You do
Yeah.
it then,"
Yeah.
because that's not what
You say it.
So, I mean, how would you handle something like if you actually, like I know today's world's totally different than our world was.
I would not work in newspaper business today because, as y'all know, no one trusts the media now. At least the mainstream media. Back in the days when I was working for these newspapers, I took great pride in the fact that I double-checked, triple-checked, quadruple-checked
She didn't want it coming back at you.
my sources, and I documented everything. And it was important to me to quote them correctly, not misquote them. It was important to me to not bury the lead. Go ahead and put, you know what I'm talking about. Just put the story out there. And we were told by our editors to sizzle it down like bacon and get the fat out of it. So we had
That's a good analogy.
No, we had to fit a space, 10 inches column usually. And so it was an upside down pyramid. You put most important in the first line. Well, actually, in the headline, that was people scan the paper. They look at a picture first, and then the headline next. Then, if they're interested, they'll read the first line, and that's called a hook. If the first line is done well, it will hook them into reading the first paragraph, and then from then on, the first line of each paragraph is called the hook. It pulls them down till they get to the bottom of the story. But as far as the most important at the top, if they're going to cut, if your editor cuts your story, and that's what an editor does, the reporter, he has the final, or she has the final say. They're going to cut it from the bottom up. So you got to get your most important information, from the top down. And I just took great pride in, I wanted to inform the public correctly, and I also wanted to have whatever I needed to have with the person I was interviewing, whether it's empathy or whether it was just out and out respect, or if it was someone.
I love that word, respect.
Or if it was, it depended on who it was and what the story was about. You had to get a feel for what you were walking into and have, yes, your list of questions. But here was my cardinal rule. At the end of each interview, I always ended with this last question. Is there anything I haven't asked you about that you think I should know in order to properly write this story? I always asked them that, and almost every time they had something else to add that I had not thought to ask them. And sometimes it was very important
That
to the
was
story.
the juicy part of the story.
Sometimes it was very important to the story or the context of the story. So, yes, this is how I ended up, even though I'm Toys for Tots here today. That's how I ended up. This is a press release, writing press releases for our Toys for Tots campaign, which I am the coordinator of in DeKalb County. But this is why I am doing the interviews. This is why I am writing press releases and taking them to the newspaper or going to the radio stations to get out the information. That part of my skill set really helps me in letting the public know the information that you need to know about Toys for Tots. Now, yeah, people have asked me to come back into the business, but in this age, I could not. I personally don't trust the media.
I don't, and I'm in it.
There's a few people I do, and I'm sure you guys out there, you have your chosen one or two or three that you will listen to. But for the most part, overall, what they call the legacy media, I have no trust in them because, and you know why. I don't have to explain it. And therefore, when someone offers me a good job in the media, I tell them I refuse to become a reporter again for a newspaper in this climate that we are in now, the news world that we are in now.
I totally understand. That's
No.
why I do it on my own.
If I have no respect for it, no trust in it, I don't. That was the mainstay of my career, to keep the trust of my readers and the people, the public I interviewed, the trust, the goodwill, and sometimes that you're walking the tightrope when you tell the truth, and how you word it has everything to do with it.
The expression on your face when you're reporting it, the whole thing.
If you are on film, yes.
Absolutely. We've got to go into a commercial break.
Sure.
We're going to be right back in just a minute. We'll be right back.
Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
Good afternoon. We're back. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television talk show. This is LaRue Hardinger, and she is with the Marine Toys for Tots Foundation. When two friends get together, I know I get you off topic all the time. So let's
both
go
ways.
Well, that's just because we're
I have
friends.
interviewed you a couple of times, actually.
Yeah, can we do that again?
I want to every time I get around you. I mean,
That was fun.
Well,
We've done that before. And
This
that was,
is so funny. It kind of is a toss back to what we've been talking about, our news careers, because you get two reporters together and they want to interview each other.
it happens every single time. Every single time. Well, before I get you off topic, I know you've got some things you've got to report. So.
Oh, well, the main thing, the most important, the lead, the hook, on this is we are beginning to crank up our 2025 Marine Toys for Tots campaign in DeKalb County, Alabama. And our first fundraiser is this coming Saturday, and it's called, don't laugh, 5 UFO Days, which we've already been playing around with that topic. You guys know that if you have watched anything on our channel or heard it. But Saturday, 23rd August, the gates open at 9 and close at 10, and they have a killer lineup of musical groups. It's their 20th anniversary of the festival, so they're really going all out. They're going to have pony rides, free bouncy houses. I don't know about balloon rides. I would hope so, but I do know I've seen the others advertised. We are going to be set up there in our Marine Toys for Tots canopy, and we would love for you to bring a new toy and put it in our toy box or drop a buck in one of our buckets. But this year we are having a drawing for 2 very nice gifts, and we would love for you to donate in the form of buying a few tickets for that drawing. We're going to have the drawing, let's see if I have it here, at 6 p.m. And that's, some people, you don't have to be present to win, but some people want to hang around and see if they win. But the singing does go on until 10, and those last 2 or 3 groups are real. As the day goes on, the groups get more well known, and I'm not going to call any names, but you can look it up online. I know there's a page on Facebook, UFO Days, and they will have the lineup. So drop by our canopy, and you can buy tickets just for $1 a piece, or 15 tickets for $10. Or if you just want to give us a donation, we will have a coin box there. Just stop by and get to know us, talk to us. We'll have a few UFO guys for sale. It's little alien guys, blow-ups. We will have some, and for those of you that donate, we have given away some little squishies that are aliens, and
The aliens did visit the last show. I thought that was pretty interesting.
yeah,
I've had some feedback from that.
Well, they're not that expensive, and we do have a case of those that we're going to sell, and they're easy to blow up. The average, if you've ever blown up a beach ball, it's easier than that. So, and they come in 3 colors: purple and blue, and purple, blue, and green. Yeah, alien green. And one of the things we're giving away is a toddler chair that's actually a little green alien. So it's cute. And a little stuffed chair. Yeah.
Yeah, so it might win it for your kids or your grandkids.
It's for a toddler.
Or if you're the favorite aunt of the family, you might win it.
And the other is a very nice air fryer. Still brand new in the box, with all the paperwork and everything. And they're pretty popular. And this one is a more expensive model. So I think, there's something for, both. So whoever's name is drawn first gets to pick. We're going to film it and put it on Facebook. So if you're not there, you don't have to be present to win.
That's going to be a great thing. We're going to have to call it a day.
Yeah.
We're alive at Twin City Used Car Sales. They're located in Gadsden, Alabama. And I'm going to tell you what, Bobby Ledbetter has just been a huge friend to you guys.
Yes, he has.
The vehicle and, all the advertising you guys get off of that. I wanted to thank Bobby also for all the great things you've done in this community and the communities surrounding this area.
He continues to come up to DeKalb County. He even comes on Halloween when we come to the block party, and we hand out little things for the children. As Toys for Tots, he's right beside of us. He has never stopped doing that, and for 5 or 6 years now, he has provided a trailer that's he himself had wrapped with our art. It helps out in hauling toys and so forth. And maybe it's probably going to be parked out there at the UFO Days Festival. It's in Fife, Alabama, and it's on Paul Benefield Lane. But the actual address can be found on their Facebook page. It's Fife, FYFFE, UFO Days.
Absolutely. LaRue, thank you so much for being on the show with me. Sorry I got you on a tangent.
Oh, no, that's what we do.
That's what we do. And thank you so much for watching. Continue watching. Continue sending emails to Donna at donnasedge.com. I treasure every single one of them. You take care.